I was doing the intro, I was like, bro, keep it together. Bro, it's gonna be so many funny clips and bits and shit in this. Oh my god. Oh shit. That shit comfortable, bro. Okay. Hey you guys, and welcome back to Shit Happens Podcast. This is a podcast where we talk about just all the shit that we be going through in our early 20s and just trying to make it through, figuring ourselves out, and just looking for some guidance, you know? As you can see, I have some familiar faces. Go ahead and introduce yourself, ladies.
I'm Maya. You can follow my IG at, that's Maya, WOETHATSMIYA.
Hi everyone, my name is Taylor. You can follow me on Instagram at Taylor Aaliyah, TAYLORAALIYAH. _.
And both of their IGs, of course, will be linked in the description and they'll be on the screen. Today, well, actually, let's backtrack. On my Instagram, like a week ago, I posted a Instagram poll on if women, would you hyphenate your last name or would you not hyphenate your last name? I'm gonna pull up the results too. I should have had this already pulled up. All right, so the results were that 23 votes said yes, they would hyphenate their last name, and 17 said they wouldn't hyphenate their last name. And I was actually shocked because in my own head, I just thought that most women would not hyphenate their last name because, you know, that's what is seen throughout tradition type shit. So that's why, we're here to talk about it now so we can, you know, talk more about it and understand the different points of views type shit. Is why or why not would you want to hyphenate your last name? That's pretty much an obvious question. Like, what's your reasoning behind it?
I would want to hyphenate my last name because, why not? I think of it as like when you change your complete last name, I'm not saying that like you basically are stuck with that whole family, but like it's just like, wow, like I grew up knowing like Taylor Williams my entire life. Now what do I look like going around calling myself Taylor Brown? Like, it would
be such a lie.
It's like so weird. Plus also for me, I think of it as I am the only child. So technically I am the last person with the last name Williams in my, like on my side, because everyone else has like a different last name because they took on their dad's last name.
Even like your cousins and stuff?
Yeah.
Really?
So like my older cousin, she had actually her dad's name. Her dad's name. And then somebody else, like they but yeah, like I was saying, like everybody else doesn't have my last name. And then even my siblings have different last names. So like 3 of them have the same last name, but then the other 3, I mean, that's three more. It's 6 of us. Okay, I'll just say it like that. It's 6 of us. 3 of us have like different last names, and then the other 3 have my dad's last name. I'm just like, huh, I'm the last Williams. So like, I would like to keep that.
Yeah.
Personally, I wouldn't, only because of like, if I get my name hyphenated, and the way that I'm like, the way that I want to take on my career stuff, I want to get a PhD in my name. So I want to be Dr. whatever last name I have at the time. I would hope it's like Brooks still, because I worked hard for that. But, hyphenated is just, I don't know, like I might as well just take on their last name. And on top of that, it's like, I don't think my last name would sound right with another last name added on. Yeah, because like Brooks Brown, I don't know. It's just that's a whole mouthful for me. So I'm like, I might as well just take on their last name, or I might as well keep my last name. And in my case, I have the option to do that because, you know, woman loves woman.
We're not even talking about like husband and woman. Like it really can be with anybody you end up like. What do you take on your partner's last name, or you keep your own?
It really depends. It really depends. Cause like, I don't know. It depends on like how they want to do it. Cause like, let's say in a situation where they want to take my last name and then I just keep mine, that's fine. Or let's say in a situation where they want me to take theirs. I mean, I would take it, but hyphenating, it's just a whole mouthful to me. And that's too long for me.
I think for me, I've always thought like to take on the last name because, like, you know, that's what you see throughout just tradition type shit and like in the world stereotype or whatever. So that's what I always thought. And then also my last name is pretty long. Like that shit is 10 letters long. It's like similar to what you were saying about it being like a mouthful. My shit will also be a mouthful. Imagine somebody else has a 10-letter last name too. Like,
oh my god,
I'm not gonna write all that shit out on the paper. I already don't like writing my last name out on the fucking paper.
Fair enough.
So like I'm not gonna write all that shit out on the paper. So like yeah, that's another reason why I think I would just take on one last name, my husband's last name, or whoever I fucking end up with last name. And what else would I gonna say? I'm kind of having one of those moments.
I'm having one of those moments.
What would you do if your partner says they don't want to hyphen your last name? So in your case, Taylor, like, what would you do? Because like I feel like is an important conversation like to have, right? So like, how would you think he would like handle it? Is that like a deal breaker for you, or is it like you think it could be?
I mean, I don't really think that it would be too much of a deal breaker, depending on what the other person says.
Mm-hmm.
But if they don't want me to hyphenate it, then keep on.
Last name.
Yeah.
So what if they feel like, cause you know some men get mad at that shit.
Yeah.
Like they're just like, you're gonna take my last name.
But then I feel like, damn, that's where the ownership come in. Like, am I yours?
Right.
Like, I mean, like, yes, I am yours, but like, think of it this way. Like, back in the day, people, I don't mean to get all historical
on this type shit.
But yeah, like, they used to do that. They used to change each other's last name. Well, they changed their woman's last name because it proved like ownership, the property of them. So like, I mean, I wouldn't also think this is just such a bad conversation.
Nah, I feel like no, because I see what you're saying. Because like I do feel like we kind of do have that in the back of our subconscious, in our mind because of history. So that's always there. But then, like, some people are trying to, like, change the definition of that but it still doesn't make sense because, like, you can go with either last name.
Yeah,
why does it mandatorily have to be the man's last name?
Yeah.
You know?
And
that's when that subconscious clicks in.
Yeah,
like,
I think of it also that way. I mean, like, depending on, like, I guess the conversation and, like, why, like, if they give me some, like, I guess good enough answers, I mean, I guess I am. Think about it, but like
it definitely would have to
be like it will definitely would have to be a conversation about it. I mean not like too bad of a conversation. I just think of it as a regular conversation.
Yeah. Are your kids' last name going to be like hyphenated?
No.
And you can say like your piece on it too, like
because that is one thing that I have to worry about because you know I do plan on marrying a woman, so it's like because. You know, it's already enough. Like, I have to choose between who's gonna have the kid and stuff. So it also is gonna be a which last name. Yeah, and like, I mean, hopefully we're married by the time, and they just take whatever the married name is. But push come to shove, I have thought about like hyphenating our last names for the kids. But I'm like, damn, I don't want them to have a mouthful either.
Yeah, but it really just determines on like how the name
exactly.
Fit. Yeah, so it's really just a question.
If it's cute, like let's say it's Brooks Lee. I mean, that's fine, I guess.
That's kind of cute.
Yeah, I would do something like that. But if it was something like Brooks Jackson or just a whole lot, I'm just like...
Just a whole blue.
Yeah, I'm not even going to do that to my kids because I didn't even want to do it to my damn self. Yeah. It would have to be like something where it's like both of our last names are like short. Yeah. And I would do it. I would. Just so we could say like these kids are our kids. Like, you know?
Yeah.
But honestly, if my partner wouldn't mind... I would let them take one of our last names, just solely have that. Then, you know, that'd be that, really.
Like, now thinking about it, because since we're having this discussion on, like, hyphenating or not hyphenating, is that how you say it?
Hyphenating.
Not hyphenating your last name, it makes me want to, like, think more into it. And so for, like, the kids situation, like, it makes me question myself, like, what if they want to choose when they're older, which last name they want to have? Because I didn't have that choice.
Exactly.
My mom's last name was Thompson. And I much rather have Thompson than Glover, and I'm not going to lie.
Exactly.
Even though it's, like, kind of the same length, it's just smoother. It's less confusion when, like, having to pronounce your name. Has anybody mispronounced your name before, like Taylor? Or has it always been right?
No, it's always been right.
People have mispronounced my name before, and I'm just like...
Really?
Yes, like, someone's called me Kyla before. And it's just like,
do you see the Y next to the K?
right, like you don't see the A bit, like come on, like, where are people missing this fucking A? I know you people's mispronounced your name.
Oh,
like,
yes.
I don't know just why people can't like get the hyphen when could you have like a do you have
the accent?
Yeah, Mark in your name. Oh, so it's just straight.
Yeah.
People still mispronounce it?
Yes. Only because, like, the C and H placement. Because, you know, CH words, they have, like, different pronunciations. And so, when it comes to that, it's like people find creative-ass ways to say it.
Yeah.
Chuh. One person, they didn't even say the C. They was just like, Hamaya. I'm like, where did you get her? And then, like, or, like, they'll be like Shamia, or they'll be like Kamaya, or they'll be like Camia. I don't even know where Camia came from. Exactly. Like, you forget the H too.
Right. Jesus, like, people not even trying
exactly.
They're just like,
and then you mispronounce Maya.
Oh, Mia. They call me Mia. I'm like, what the world? Like,
come on, dude. Know the difference between your Y's and your I's. Come on. We learned this in, like, first grade. Backtracking to, like, what I was saying before with the kids choosing that last name, that's, like, I feel like is a valid reason why you want them to choose because, you know, you don't know which name they're going to like more. Exactly. And it's like, it's still y'all as a family, you know? Yeah. Just because I don't think the name will, like, break or make or break.
Yeah.
Bro, it's going to be so many funny clips and bits and shit in this. Oh, my God.
Like, I agree with you. Like, when you think about, like, when you sit back and think of it, last names, they are just as important as first names because it really like determines this person's identity. And like with me, the way I got my last name, it's so funny because it's not really funny, but it's just like a little deep thing because it's like my dad, his grandparents adopted him, so I have my grandparents my grandparents on his side last name. I don't have the last name he's supposed to have, right? Because his father's last name is Clark. Yeah, I'm supposed to be a Clark, if anything. Or Johnson, because my mom's last name is Johnson. But either those, but I'm a Brooks instead. Right. Because I took on his grandparents' last name. And so it's like, when you think about it, it's like last names, they do have such a high importance. Cause right, because it goes back to your family tree. Exactly. And on top of that, it's like, you know, let's say I choose to adopt. And like, I change their whole name and stuff. I want my kids to know their past name if I do change it, or you know their current name. And then on top of that, what if they want to research their family members and their last name is changed and they don't know their identity and stuff? I want them to, you know, be able to dig. Exactly. So, or let's say I have my own kids and stuff, and they want to know like important stuff. I'm gonna have to tell them, like I'm gonna have to sit down and have that conversation. Like, hey, you know, even though let's say take my last name, even though your last name is like Brooks. You're actually a Clark, you know, or you're actually a Johnson, and then this is your lineage, da-da-da-da. It's like ties you to so many people. Hyphening? No fact. No fact. I was backtracking to my family tree, like, wow, like, this goes deep and deep to many years and years ago. And it ties you to so many people, Like, Brooks is actually a common last name, and I never knew that until I got older. And it's like, there could be other Brooks that like that you don't even know, and then that shit can like connect back to you. That's crazy. So that's even crazy to me too. So it's like, I don't know, hyphen. Bro, like there could be a whole fucking person on the other side of the world, and we related. Exactly. Hey, cousin.
So my great grandfather's last name was Williams. My great grandmother's last name was Hall. When they got married, she took his last name, which started like the Williams line. And I was like, wow, what if my name was like Hall? Exactly. Because my grandmother, once they had a kid, they gave their kids last names as Williams because that's their last name that they changed. So I was just like, wow.
That shit could have been so flip.
Like my last name could have been Hall.
And I have a friend named Kayla Hall.
I have a friend named Kayla Hall too.
Ooh. What the fuck is going on? The last question. We kind of already like digged into this, I feel like already, but we can talk about it a little more. Do you have fear of losing your family name? Like your family last name, like your family name. I low-key do have fear too because like my last name is very unique. Like, you don't hear a lot of people with Goldberg. I mean, in Jamaica you do, because everybody in Jamaica is fucking related. I'm not gonna lie. Like, every time I go there, I meet somebody new and they say, this is your cousin, this is your aunt, this is your something, da-da-da-da-da. It's just like one big ass fucking family. But like, it's like different last names too. But like, there's still like a lot of people with the last name Goldberg in Jamaica. But it's still a unique name and you don't really hear it. And like, my dad and my mom have just 2 girls, us. I mean, there's my brother too. Shit, I'm confusing myself now. Cause like, he's gonna have kids in the middle of this. And then I have cousins. I know, fact. I'm trying to like. But anyways, my like, from my like line and from my sister's line at least, if we change our last names from then on, like that family is gonna be not Goldbergs anymore. And then I'm not gonna have like that Goldberg, like from years on. Nobody's gonna trace back to me to Goldborn because it was gonna change and shit like that. That shit's weird. So like, I low-key do have fear of it now thinking of it, but
then that's how I feel, because I'm the only child.
Yeah.
So like, I have to keep it going. Like, think of it if like, if I had a brother, let's say his wife changed her last name to Williams, that would have kept the line going.
Your own child.
Well, somebody gotta do it. Somebody gotta do it. Might as well be me.
Right. Well. The only reason why I'm really like scared, only because like, you know, the backstory of how I got my last name in the first place, but it's also like, damn. And we're all like, me and my son, we're all girls. From my dad's side, he only has like 1 son, and like that's the only one that'll continue on the name. Right. But it's like, damn, I'm about to end a whole blood.
What if they have a girl and then that shit changes?
Exactly. So it's like, you know, and I feel like that's crazy because when it comes to girls, it's like, more than likely the name's gonna change. Unless like, you know, you have that rainbow. That comes in the picture and might keep it.
Because I have 5 sisters, 1 brother, and my brother doesn't have our dad's name. The 3 kids that have our dad's name are my sisters. So I was like, well, I mean, like, I thought about it. Now that you just said something, I was just like, wow, they are girls.
Exactly.
All of them.
But thank you guys so much for watching this video. That's all we have today. And thank you, ladies, for coming on the podcast. As always, it was a pleasure of talking with you, ladies. Don't forget, go ahead and follow them on IG. Again, their IGs will be linked in the description. And so all my information. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and of course, share. Share with your mama, with your daddy, with your brother, with your auntie, with your uncle, with your cousin, and that baby across the street. Okay?
Mine as well.
Mine. I'll see you guys in the next episode.
Bye. Hi everybody, I'm Taylor. You can follow my IG at... I'm sorry.
Imagine what 3 would have done.
Okay, bro, that's what I'm saying.
Stuck staring at the camera.